Okay, afternoon everyone. Welcome to the Public Sector Challenge 2025 Peak Pursuit webinar. It's one of a series of webinars we're looking to do for the challenge this year. We did one earlier in the year, and we're looking to also do one ahead of the challenge in September. Normally the week of, we look to intend to do that. So you will get information. If you're not signed up to the newsletter already, please drop us a line at the admin email address, Public Sector Challenge, and we can make sure. But you should be now starting to get regular newsletters ahead of the challenge, giving you useful information. But the webinars hopefully supplement that with the opportunity today to ask some Q&A as well. I'm very pleased to be accompanied by Jessica Allchin, who is our lead contact with Cancer Research UK and supporting us today with regard to the charity part of the presentation. Thanks, Jess, for attending today. Really appreciate it. Jess is picking up both the British Heart Foundation and Cancer Research today as part of the presentation. So without further ado, and we'll make sure the slides are shared in the newsletter afterwards, I'll go on to the presentation, but please, if there's any questions along the way, please just jump in. So 5th of September, Hope Showground this year. Some of you will have been in Yorkshire last year for the Yorkshire Free Peaks. We're at Hope Showground for another really good challenge with 5 peaks this time. Tough, but very different to the challenge in Yorkshire. Anyway, lots of information to see today. So first of all, big thank you for signing up. We've got nearly 650 people signed up or committed to the challenge this year. We're just waiting. We're getting the final registrations in at the moment, and which is fantastic. Some people have left it a little bit late, which is not a problem. You've got to the 31st of July. But once the 31st of July passes, that is the final time this year. I know some people sneaked in through the back door last year, missing after the deadline, but this year really is when that's deadline's hit. It's hit. So yeah, you can drop out after that date, and someone can replace you, but we can't add any more people. Hopefully no one is going to drop out, but obviously we do understand life pressures sometimes or injuries do help. So your support help funds life-saving research, and we've got the 2 biggest research organisations, British Heart Foundation and Cancer Research, supporting us as the challenge and we're raising funds in aid of them. So let's make a difference together. Let's move on to the next slide. So I wanted to provide a few images in between the presentation just to break it up. It's very different terrain to Yorkshire. There's still climbs, but that's a little bit of a view of one of the climbs. I think that's back tour on the route. So key dates. Final day, as I said, 31st of July, not long away. So please let us know. Even if you commit as early as possible, let us know. We need to get your orders in to get your kit out to you as soon as possible. That'll be that's the last date. So let us know if you're thinking, considering, or you've got some numbers of people. We've had quite a few in this week as well, because it's really helpful for us to plan. As you know, everybody's volunteers on the challenge, so it'd be good to know rather than sort of last minute an order of 30. Or actually, this week we had a couple of orders of 25 people team to come in. So on the day, there's early registration, also the post the event, we've got a early registration. That's on site at Hope Showgrounds. If you want to turn up either individually or as a team, you can come along and collect your numbers and get information around how to set up the app and get prepared ahead of the day. We know not everybody will be there the day before. Some people will be turning up early on the Friday or later on the Thursday. So don't worry, you can register on the day and get all your information. But what we're doing is we're planning for as many people as possible to register the day before, just to make it a bit easier in the morning of the 5th. There is a pre-event party networking opportunity. We're calling it the 5 Ps at the moment. Just wait, it's a working title, but the P is in linking with the 5 peaks, but we're probably looking at more Peroni, pasta, pizza, Prosecco, and Perrier. That's probably the 5 things you might get at that pre-event rather than the 5 peaks next day. And that's at the Bike and Boot Hotel. That's the Public Sector Challenge HQ for the 3 days we're in the peaks. So if you want to turn up anything, you've got any questions on the day, you won't be doing registration there, but if you've got any questions, come along. There'll be someone from the Public Sector Challenge there most days. So if you've got any questions or you just want to network, have a drink or anything like that, please do come along and enjoy the opportunity. It's a lovely area outside and inside for you to have something to eat and drink there the night before. Also, any other day, please come along to the Bike and Boot as well. It's a really good central location. It's not far from Hope Showground. So yeah, please come along. No problem. So there's a restaurant and bar there at the event. So on the day, registration on the Friday from 6 a.m. till 8 p.m. and the event starts from between 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. A little bit later than last year, so it will be nice and light this year rather than dark Yorkshire, which it was in 2024. So just to give you a bit of familiarization, that is the Biker boot, and just a quick image. You'll see that if you're driving to Hope Showgrounds, heading from Bamford. If you come from Castleton, you won't see that, but that's where the Biker boot is. It's not far away at all. It's about a mile and a half, I think, away from the showground. So we've got 5 different routes. We've got a lot of sign-ups for the 4 main routes, which is the orange, blue, green, and red. We have got a wheelchair accessible 5-mile route, and we have had a few people sign up for that. And we will be supporting those people to make sure they can undertake the challenge on that route. But just wanted to highlight the 4 main routes that will be marked. The 5-mile one is a pathway around the Derwent Reservoir. So it's very easy, and we'll make sure the people that are registered for the shorter route have got full information and a bit of a personal service to make sure they're fully supported. So you've got the orange, blue, green, and red routes. You can choose your route on the day if you haven't chose before, and if you can change your route on the day as well. So when you sign up in the morning and you say you're going to go on the orange route, if you get along the route and you think, actually, I'm going to go on, I'd like to go a bit further, I want to go on the blue, or you've signed up for the green and want to finish on the blue, you can do that on the day. There's no problem during the day to make decision points on the day to decide, actually, I'm going to go back earlier, I'm going to stay and do a bit longer. So no problem at all with doing that. Just what we do recommend is making sure you're always out with at least one other person on the route. There will be decision points telling you how far until the end along the route. So if you're near the end of the orange route, it will tell you the blue, so you can make your decisions and complete the larger route. But we completely also understand this year one of the reasons we put in shorter routes is to make it more inclusive and to give people an opportunity to explore the challenge perhaps for the first time, or walking in the peaks for the first time. So you might want to do a smaller route, but there's no problem if you want to change your mind on the day. So if you have already registered for a route, don't worry if you change your mind on the day. It just really helps us work out how many people are anticipated to be en route. Here we go, just a little bit of terrain. That is Jay Dudley and David Connors walking up. I think this is back tour. And as you'll see, the terrain is lots of steps, and there's some sort of footpaths that go up to the main peaks. But if you see that, relatively gradual compared to some of the climbs last year. So the routes themselves, you'll find this on the Public Sector Challenge website, and we put some of this information out in the newsletter last week. But yeah, as you can see, the orange route is 26 miles. I think I've got it the wrong way around on the last slide. And the purple route is 5.5. But this gives you an idea of the different peaks along the route. Mam Tor, the Great Ridge, Back Tor, and Loose Hill are all among one climb and one descent. With regards to, you can go up to Mam Tor, climb across the Great Ridge to Back Tor to Loose Hill, and then you come down again. There is a little bit of a short up and down, but it's you don't climb the full 5,400 ascent more than once. So you do that to get up. Once you're up there, then you can climb across the Great Ridge. When you get to Bamford Edge, it's a little bit different. You'll be climbing up and down, and Win Hill as well, up and down as well. But the 3, Mam Tor, Back Tor, and Loose Hill, you can do those without having to go up and down. So you'll get all those 3 very quickly, especially if you're doing the 8-mile route. You'll have done all those, and you'll be back to base pretty quick in the day. And obviously some of your colleagues will have gone around Lady Bower Reservoir and Bamford Edge. Again, just a little bit of a view of the steps up and down some of the peaks for people who haven't done the peaks. Arrival and parking, we've got online parking at the parking being sold online on the Giveall site. Please go on there as soon as possible. It's £5 for a car, and I think it's £15 for a minibus. So please get that booked in as soon as possible, because we can estimate the sort of capacity on the site. Car park opens from 6 o'clock at the Hope Showgrounds. You will have plenty of time to get prepared before the event, and you can store things obviously in your car on the day. So if you bring a car, anything you're not taking with you on the walk, store things in there as well. Please don't arrive too early. Anything before 6, you might have to wait in the public car park across the road. And if we can just be really respectful for any neighbours, because there's a lot of us turning up, and sort of noise around the surrounding community. Again, a bit of a view of the route, as you see, really simple, just a walk along the path and a gradual walk up to the side of one of the mountains or one of the hills. So registration, we sent out an email last week to anybody that has registered. If you've only registered recently, you might not have got this. With regard to registrations between 6 and 7:50 a.m. Or early on the 4th, I said one person per team can come and collect the bibs and information sheets for your numbers and stuff. And teams are allocated start times alphabetically. There has been a number of questions around this. We are not looking to break people up who've come along to walk together. This is really just to manage flow of so if you come along to walk with from a camp and then transport, it is really just to manage, and there'll be no problem if you want to swap between tranche one and tranche four. What we can't do though is get everybody off on tranche one, because we'll have too many people on route at one time. So yeah, alphabetical order based on team, and we're trying to keep teams together. But if you are walking with another team or another organization, that's not a problem. You just need to let us know, and we'll make sure you can walk with your colleague, friends on the route. Again, that's the back of Win Hill from a distance. You gradually get up to the top of that, but just to give you a bit of an idea of the scale of the hills this year. So tracking, we had some chips last year that you carry on the route, but we've actually gone in partnership with iOrienteering to create an app with them, or they've got an app. And with that app, you can download the app before the event. You've got a newsletter, and then you scan QR codes at the start, checkpoints, and finish. It doesn't track you; it tracks your timing. So it won't track you or your location. It'll just know that you've checked in at those points. So we'll know whether you're at certain points on the route. It's not GPS tracking in that way. So it is literally just telling us you've gone past checkpoint 1, 2, 3, or 4, and we'll note that. So no need to create an account at the moment, but you might want to download the app. Credentials will be sent through to everybody, and you'll all have that before the day, so you can have plenty of opportunity to get the app up and running. And there will be QR codes on the day to download the app if not, but I would suggest downloading the app before the day with regard to broadband, 5G access out in the Peak Districts. Again, just a different terrain through the woodlands off to the reservoir, just to give you a bit of it's a very different terrain than we had last year. Lots of different sites and lots of opportunity to see some different things, rather than perhaps in Yorkshire where all you could see is the mountain you're climbing and the next big mountain you were climbing, so you're going to climb. So facilities, toilets are at Hope Showgrounds. We've got toilets there and at the checkpoints, regular on the route. There is other places you can use the toilet en route, but they're not part of the event. So you need to make sure you get permission from the people of the different outlets. There'll be no water refill at the start. Bring pre-filled bottles. Water and energy snacks will be at all the checkpoints as much as possible to keep through the day, but we hope people bring things with them as well. So please take one for yourself rather than lots. That'd be really good. There is food kiosks at some of the different locations, especially at some of the caverns on the first bit of the route. And there is a lovely bakery in Bamford that I've experienced a couple of times. So please do attend there. It's quite a small bakery, so you might have to be a bit patient. But we are going to pre-warn them ahead of the event to make sure they know they might have 650 visitors on the 5th of September. What an amazing view. As I said, we didn't see that up in the Yorkshire, but you'll see a lovely view of the reservoir from all parts of the route if you're going on some of the longer bits of the route as well. End of the event. So we haven't announced yet, but we were going to have a sporting celebrity come along. I know people really enjoyed that with London Bridges when we had Harry, and back in September with the event for the Yorkshire. We will be doing a medal giving session. If people need to get away quickly, there'll be a certain time we will be doing medals. It won't be as soon as the first smaller route people get back. That medal giving will be a bit later. So if you do need to get away, we can give you a medal, but it won't be from one of our celebrities on the day. You will have a food voucher, you will have a drink voucher to help yourself too. There's very much pizza, burger, chips, things like that will be there. There is some healthy option with a bit of salad as well. But we've tried to realise if some of you have done 26 miles or less, you probably need to up the carbs afterwards. And we will make sure there's items for people with other dietary requirements as well. But please let us know if you've got some specific dietary requirement outside of sort of vegan and some of the other dietary requirements. So what else could you ask for? So again, we'll have an event afterwards, and that'll close sort of 10:30 time, and then an opportunity to go back to the Bike and Boot or your hotels or accommodation wherever you're staying. I know people are staying as far away as Sheffield, which isn't actually that far away, but as far away, or people are staying in Hope, Castleton, and other places. So again, another view of the routes. As you can see, the industrial chimney in the background. Unfortunately, you will see that in the background of one of the industrial areas they have put in very close to Hope. To me, it's a bit of a blight of the landscape, but there's so much more you will see anyway on the day. So we'll move over to hear someone else's much better voice than mine, Jess's voice, and I'll pass over to Jess to talk you through the charity giving and give wheel, and how, if you haven't already registered, how you do register. Over to you, Jess.
Thank you, Jonathan. Hello, as Jonathan said at the top of the call today, my name is Jess. I'm from Cancer Research UK. I'm here representing my fellow colleague Lindsay at Cancer Research UK, and also Becky from British Heart Foundation. The reason why I've gone into detail about who we are and our names is that we really want to be readily available to you. And we'd love for you to get in touch with us. We're here. We're fundraising managers. We support people throughout the year, each year, doing all sorts of things for other events and activities. So we've got loads of ideas and inspiration, and we really want to help you to achieve your fundraising goals as a team. And please don't worry. I know people get really wary about getting in touch with charities, but we definitely only want to talk to you about your peak pursuit fundraising and the things that you want to do and the ideas that you want as a team to fundraise. Because the more we can fundraise together, the more research that we can fund into beating cancer and heart disease. So thank you so much for all your fundraising so far. As you can see here, we are using GiveWheel as the fundraising platform for Peak Pursuit this year. It's a fairly new fundraising platform. I think it's been about since 2021, I believe. It's like Just Giving. But the difference is that you can fundraise for more than one charity on the platform, and you can fundraise for your charities equally on one page on GiveWheel. And that's why we recommended it to Jonathan and the rest of the board, and that's why they've chosen it for Peak Pursuit. So if you head to the fundraising page, the link there on the box, you will see the main Peak Pursuit fundraising page, and you'll see the totalizer at the top, and the totalizer is very impressive at the moment, and it represents all the fundraising that's been done for the Public Sector Challenge since 2023. The Yorkshire Three Peaks last year, and the National Three Peaks the year before, and the London Bridges earlier in the year. And this year for Peak Pursuit, the target is £200,000. That's £100,000 for each charity. So you'll see the totalizer on the top, and then if you scroll down, you'll see teams already on the page. So all these teams will be fundraising as individual teams, and then everyone's combined fundraising goes up to push the totalizer amount up. So if you go into the link, if you haven't done so already, and then select Start a Fundraiser for this event to join Peak Pursuit. So it'll ask you to create a GiveWheel account, and it will ask you to set up your team page. You can personalize it, add your own photo, descriptor, put some other media in there. I'd highly recommend creating a QR code on GiveWheel. You can do that from the site, from your page. You can generate a QR code to download, or just use the URL link and start sharing your page to fundraise. And you'll see at the bottom, throughout the challenge, you can update your supporters, people donating to your page, with posts. So you can add new posts to keep people informed of how your training's going, how much you've raised so far, what your target is, how much you need to get to with your target. There's Strava integration, and you can broadcast messages to all the people on your page. So there's lots of ways you can really get close to your supporters and get them involved with what you're doing. Can somebody move me on to the next slide, please? There we go. Hmm. So if you've set up your page already, or you're about to set up your team page and you've got all that sorted, you might be thinking, well, where do we start? What should we do as a team to fundraise? So we've put together a few ideas to get you started. Um, you've got an office coffee morning, bake sale, themed dress down days. These are all very well known ideas. They can be really popular. They're easy to organize. They're easy to organize and get the word out. And they don't take a lot of preparation, rather other than getting people to bring in bakes or letting people know what the theme is. Oh, sorry, that's too far forward. There we go. Thank you very much. And so they're kind of quick, easy, quick wins to get you started if you're looking for something to organize right now. The next idea is a sweepstakes. Sweepstakes, again, they're always really popular. You usually think of sweepstakes of things like sporting events and the like. You could personalize it for your Peak Pursuit fundraising. You could do a sweepstake for guess the number of steps that the team are going to take during the whole Peak Pursuit challenge, or guess the time it's going to take for the team to complete the challenge on the day. And then you could have a small prize for the winner at the end of the Peak Pursuit, or if you're feeling really generous, you could split the amount of the donations that have been made to the sweepstake. So it gives people more incentive to take part, but it's totally down to you. Likewise, personalising your fundraising for the Peak Pursuit, you could ask for donations to choose to buy a song for your walking playlist on the day. If there's a particular genre of music that you're not keen on really, you could set the rules that if you don't like heavy metal, for example, if somebody wants to buy a heavy metal song for your playlist whilst you do the Peak Pursuit, is they've got to donate a larger amount, say like £20. So kind of makes it fun, and people could put some nice songs in for you, or some ones that you're not really keen of, but they just got to pay a bit more for the ones that you don't really want on your playlist. You could make your own coffee or lunch for a week. Make your own coffee instead of buying it in the coffee shop on the way in, or bring your own packed lunch instead of going to the canteen or going out to the high street for a week. Work out how much you've saved over that week and then donate that money to your GiveWell page yourself. Likewise, you could, if you're training right now, and as part of that training, you're trying to, eat a bit healthier, you could give up your Friday night takeaway one week, or a bottle, or the wine that you usually buy for the weekend. And again, work out how much you've saved and donate that to your page instead. We'd highly recommend creating a QR code. Like I said, you can do that straight from your page on GiveWell, or you can just put the link to your GiveWell page there's loads of free generators online, put the code in, generate a QR code, and then just share it wherever you can. Don't be afraid to share as many times as you can. Research shows that we need to see something at least 7 times before we take action. So wherever you've got an opportunity, just take it, pop it in your email signature at work, pop it into an automatic reply, even if you are in the office that day. So somebody sends you an email and they get an automatic, thanks for your email. Did you know I'm taking part in the Peak Pursuit this year? Pop it up in rest areas at work, or in meetings. Maybe blag a quick plug for your fundraising page as part of your meeting AOB. And 20% of donations come in after an event has ended. So continue to share your page even after you've done the challenge, maybe with photos and media of you completing the challenge or walking the route. And remember to follow up and thank your supporters at the end. Next slide, please. So fundraising support, as I say, we're here for you. We want to be readily available. There's myself, I'm Jess from Cancer Research UK, Becky from British Heart Foundation, and then my colleague Lindsay from Cancer Research UK. And there are our email addresses. Please do get in touch with us. We're looking forward to hearing from you, and we want to give you loads of ideas and advice. We can help you if you're struggling to set up your page. I did this last year. I'm more than happy to set up a Teams meeting, or one of us is happy to set up a Teams meeting or a Zoom meeting, and we can do it with you in real time, help you set up a page. We've got a Public Sector Challenge Peak Pursuit 2025 discussion on Facebook. We're there as page admins, and we are always posting top fundraising tips, ideas, progress, how the fundraising is going, what money can buy, that kind of thing. And we would really love to kind of get some discussion going, hear from you. You can ask us questions. We keep track of the page and reply to any posts. And we've just created a Peak Pursuit fundraising support chat on the WhatsApp group, on the as a little community group for the Public Sector Challenge on WhatsApp. So again, we will be posting top tips, fundraising ideas, letting you know how the fundraising is going. And we can't wait to hear from you. So please make use of us. We want to be as much a support as we can for you. And that's it from me. Oh, yep, sorry, this came in last minute. Thank you so much. So here's some QR codes. There's one for the Peak Pursuit fundraising page. That's for GiveWheel if you want to go straight to GiveWheel instead of copying that link for earlier in the webinar, the Facebook chat and the WhatsApp chat as well. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks, Jess. Really appreciate that and really helpful. As I say, we'll share these slides. People have got them, and there's some really good questions in the chat. So please, if you haven't realised, there's a question and answer chat. We've answered a few of them. I think we're just looking to answer the last one. The last one actually was just talking about how people generally intending and getting there. I think people are using public transport. There is a station in the villages around there, so you can connect from most locations if you're coming from north or south, east or west. Obviously, you'll have to go through Sheffield to get there. So there's a real opportunity to come in from anywhere. A lot of people do get there on the Thursday night. Some people go back on the Friday. Some people stay both nights. It's helpful if you are doing a long walk to try and not travel the day before. But if you are local, it's probably easier to do that. But if you're traveling a long day and then you're going to do 26 miles, I wouldn't recommend it. But obviously, it's totally down to you know your body and how you're going to react on the day. So we haven't got partner hotels this year, but we're using things like booking.com to book. There's Premier Inns in Sheffield and travel lodges as well. A lot of people have used the accommodation around the Peak District and just found guest houses, Airbnbs and places like that. So please do. If you do get stuck, please let us know. We'll see what we can do to help. We had the Bike and Boot Hotel, a number of rooms, but they went really quickly. It's really difficult to find a hotel big enough, but I think they had 58 rooms and we sold those out pretty quickly. With 650 people is a challenge. So we are looking at things that we can do with partners. This year we brought on a number of other partners for things like water and fuel bars and things like that. So we're definitely looking at partners to see if we get hotels perhaps moving forward. So if you are doing the long route, this picture here is Bamford Edge. It is an iconic place to take your selfie. Be very careful. It does look high. It is high, but actually it's not as high as some of the peaks we climbed last year. And I wouldn't recommend falling off the side, but it isn't. There is a more gradual drop next to it, but still a dangerous drop. So if you are looking to stand on the edge and get your pictures taken, please be very careful. We will have first aid on site, but we're not looking to use them. So please do. But that just a view of the whole of the reservoir and pretty much the hills around. You can't actually see the Hope Showground from here because it's over the top of the hills to the left of this picture. But just to give you a bit of a view, it is the selfie image. So even if you do the shorter route and you're around on the Thursday or the Saturday, you might want to think about going up to Bamford Edge and climbing that. There's something that's a really good, spectacular view from there and a real opportunity. So I think the questions in the chat have been answered, I think, between me and Jenny. So I think is there any others that have come in? Just a look, I think there's one open. So someone asked about the red route. There is only one stop on the red route. There's a 3 miles, and that's at the cavern, the John Cavern. So literally there's the start, the middle and the end. So there isn't another stop at 6 miles. At 6 miles, you're probably just about coming down the last hill, I would have thought, around that. So just to answer that question that someone's put in the chat, but more than happy to take any more questions and answers. If there is any more, I'm happy to do it on here. If not, please drop us a line on the admin at publicsectorchallenge.co.uk. Jenny Clack is very responsive on that, but let us know if you want to also use the LinkedIn messaging as well. Please drop it on LinkedIn. If you're not on LinkedIn already, please just link in there as well. So on top of that, we have a WhatsApp group as well, and the WhatsApp group um, you can get links to. If you haven't got it already, we can send you a link or QR code. It's really from the day messages as well and pre-day. We've started to build up activity on there. Last week, we started to put some posts on there. People that have done the challenges for the last 3 years and the London are still on there as well. So you'll find, I think we try not to inundate you. We try and give key information, because the other good thing about it is if you need the information on the day and you haven't got your emails in front of you, you can scroll back on the WhatsApp just to see where we put key information on there. So on the day, we'll have some QR codes as well for that, so you can get onto the WhatsApp group. And if you haven't got it already, you can create your own groups within the community as well. So some teams have already got there's about 30 teams have already got their WhatsApp team within the community team as well, so they can share individual team messages and overall messages. So partners, we've got a number of partners involved in Public Sector Challenge. Outside of the partners you can see at the bottom of our main event sponsor, Norse, we've got the LGA, we've got Kratos, we've got the MJ, we've got Solus, and Soccer Team are some of our main partners. So that on top of that, we've got a number of commercial partners that have become challenge partners this year that we will be announcing on LinkedIn, or we've announced with their logos recently. We really couldn't do the event without our commercial partners. Some of their fees go into the events to make it happen, because there is a lot of infrastructure need to put in place. We've also took on this year a number of other companies. We've got Noble Water coming in for a hydration partner, and we've got energy bar sponsor, or energy drink sponsor, of Hill. That is confirmed now, and they'll be sending product to the event as well. As I say, we'll have things at the hydration stations and the energy stations, but please do bring as much as possible yourselves. These are to supplement your own food and drink you'll be carrying around. So we've had a number of questions already. If there is any more questions, happy to pick them up. I'll just have a look in the chat. I think we've covered all of them. How long?
Just one more, if you wouldn't mind answering that one. How long on average would it take to walk the 26-mile route?
So 26-mile route on average is a difficult one, because there will be some people that will be walking at fast pace, but we're talking around probably 8 to 10 hours that people will walk that. We've walked that back in October to do that, but I think most people will be doing it at sort of the 8 to 10 hours pace. It really depends who you're walking with, but obviously with plenty of stops and rest break, 10 hours is about right. So if you're setting off in the morning at 7, you should be back by 5 p.m. There will be people taking longer, and there will be people taking a little bit less. It isn't a race, and if people want to take a bit longer, there will be back markers on the challenge who will follow the last people and support them, and there will be, as I say, first aid support along the route as well. So there will be lots of support, but you are walking the route at your own risk. We're here to complement and support you, so please make sure you've done the right own personal risk assessments. We've got risk assessments for the event, but make sure you've got the right footwear, prepared your feet and everything before the day, and that is vital. I've said it before, but making sure your feet and your shoes are prepared are pretty key to a 26-mile walk. So please do make sure, and anybody that hasn't prepared in the past and lost a lot of skin last year has probably now know that preparing your feet is quite important. So really think about that. But again, the good thing with this year, even though you could last year in the Yorkshire stop after some of the peaks, there is plenty of places where you can say, that's it, I'd like to stop, or that's it, I'd like to do a smaller route, or I'm really enjoying this, I'm going to walk a bit longer. And I suppose that also depends on how much you're enjoying the company you've got and what the weather's like. We're hoping we've got good weather along on the day, but it started off not very nice last year. We had excellent weather when we're in Yorkshire, so we'll see. So yeah, hopefully not too hot. So someone said, just to clarify, do we bring our own food and drink? Just on that question, yes, for the sort of daytime, but there is food and drink at the end. But again, it's a pizza, a burger, some chips, some other things from that sort of food vendor vehicle, and a bar. You can buy additional food on the evening at the venue, or you can obviously go back to your own hotels or accommodation as well. But we're looking to have a get together at the end, and we've already secured potentially one of our participants as a guest performer at the end as well, who's a musician. I won't announce it too early because we might not go in, but we are looking to have some background music. I won't call it noise. Hopefully it's music. But we'll be hopefully announcing that with the celebrity sports person later on in the next few weeks. So yeah, not long now to the event. 31st of July, final sign up. So if you know people who haven't signed up, please let them know as soon as possible. We really need to get them in. After that, it does close, and we won't be able to fit anybody else in unless there's swaps, and we'll let you do those swaps. It's not something we need to do, but if you have got people you know aren't coming, it's helpful for us to know. On the day also, there'll be an event mobile. We'll provide that number, so you can also WhatsApp a message to that number, or let us know on the day if you do have any problems or need any support at all. So, okay, thank you for coming to the webinar. This is recorded, so we will share it. So unfortunately, anybody who wants to watch it again will have to hear me again. But really appreciate everybody signing up to the challenge and taking part this year. We are looking to save the date for next year at this challenge, and we're looking to possibly head up a little bit further to Shropshire next year. We just haven't confirmed that. And we have got the London Bridges second walk next year on Saturday, the 17th of January. So please look out for that as well. We want to make them bigger and better. We're looking at activation opportunities on the bridges, and also end at a different location to make it a bit easier for people as well for the London bridges. So yeah, thank you again. And if you've got any questions between now and the start of the event, please let us know. We'll look to do another webinar just before the challenge, probably the week of the 5th with the walk. So probably the Monday, Tuesday, and we'll get that out. Thanks again. Really appreciate everybody's time.